Hello, my name is Sarah Houskin and I serve as the Youth Ministry Coordinator for the Synod. First of all, I just wanted to say welcome to the Southwestern Minnesota Synod. It is a great synod to be a part of and we are very much known for our collegiality and working together. There's a couple things that I'd like you to know about youth ministry in our synod. First of all, we do 2 youth gatherings per year, a junior high gathering which takes place the weekend before Thanksgiving. That's in Wilmer, and it's actually a one-night event that we do twice. So we have so many kids that want to participate in this that we can't fit them all into the same space, so we need to do the same gathering twice. So we do one group comes on Friday night and then they leave on Saturday morning, and then a whole new group comes on Saturday night and they leave on Sunday morning. So it's a wonderful gathering. We have about 1,500 kids there throughout the whole weekend, and actually it's the largest event of its kind in the ELCA. Really great gathering of band, speakers, faith talks by high school students, nightlife, all the great things you'd expect at a gathering. We also do a senior high youth gathering in the spring, often towards the end of March, and that one is in Mankato, and it goes from Friday to Saturday, later in the evening on Saturday, and it includes some special things in the afternoon, whether it's service projects or workshops or something totally different. Who knows? It's always changing. But that's also a great event, and that's also where we elect our Lutheran Youth Organization, or LYO board. Our LYO board is made up of 15 youth and 10 adults from the synod. The youth are elected at the youth gathering, and the adults, there's a conference rep from each conference. And so those are either lay people or pastors or youth ministers, and it's a wonderful group. It really has been an excellent leadership lab for young people to experiment with leadership, to learn, to grow under the guidance of faithful leaders in this church, and to really give their gifts to the wider church. So the LYO board is wonderful. What else do you need to know? Oh yes, youth worker retreat. We have a youth worker retreat in October every year. It's often a one-day thing, though I think this year we're experimenting. We might be doing an overnight at Shatek Lutheran Ministries, which is near Slayton. The other thing I want you to know about is our Practice Discipleship initiative. We've got about 10 youth ministers trained throughout our synod to present a bunch of courses that are offered through Practice Discipleship. We are offering to go out to congregations to teach any of those classes. So you could have 1 class taught, you could have 3 classes taught. There are 3 classes in this new round of courses that we think go really well together. There's one called Framing Youth, one called Framing the Vision, and then Framing the Path. Framing Youth really tells us who youth are. It goes over stereotypes that we have about youth and how the church has sometimes responded to what the stereotypes are of youth instead of who youth really are. So we talk about who youth are, and then the Framing the Vision talks about actually using our baptismal promises to shape youth ministry in our congregations. And then the last one, Framing the Path, is about change in a congregation and how we go about that in healthy ways. So those 3 could go together really well. To have Practice Discipleship come to your congregation, it's free. You just contact Pastor Kathy Euland Klinkner. She's our Practice Discipleship coach, and she will help schedule a time for someone to come out to your church. The last thing that I want to talk to you about today is actually preventing and responding to abuse. That's an area that we've been really working hard in our synod to enrich our resources and knowledge in that area. So I've learned over the last couple of years that 1 in 5 people are abused, whether that is physical, sexual, emotional, or neglect. Any of those kinds of abuse, 1 in 5 people experience that. And so of course in our congregations we want to make sure that abuse is not happening on our watch, but it's also super important for us to be aware that there are a lot of people in our congregations hurting, and for us to know how to respond when abuse has happened, even if it wasn't in the congregation. I've put together 4 steps for preventing and responding to abuse in congregations. There's a document on our Synod website that walks you through how you as a congregation can do this. The first step is creating policies for preventing abuse. The second is training your volunteers and your staff. The third is screening your volunteers and staff. And then the fourth is following up on things that you've seen, things that you've noticed, and with the people who are involved. So that's something that I really want you to be aware of. I've got great resources for you to use, and I'm happy to talk with you more about how you can implement that in your congregation. I think Pastor Joyce also wants me to talk about the First Call Pastors Family Camp. One of my other roles is that I serve as the family camp coordinator at Green Lake Lutheran Ministries. And so this year, instead of doing a First Call retreat, the Synod is doing First Call Family Camp, which I think is going to be so much fun. It'll be a week at Shores of St. Andrew Bible Camp. You'll do the whole family camp model. Family means your household. So family is expressed in many different ways. So we invite you to come and be a part of that. You'll get to know other pastors who are in their first call. You'll get to experience the joy of being at camp, whether that's new to you or whether that's old hat. I think it's going to be a really, really great week, and we've got some really fun things planned. So I'm sure if you have more questions about that, you can talk to Pastor Joyce. Otherwise, you can call me anytime. My contact info is on the website, and I look forward to meeting you in person.